Going live. And we're live. Holy shit, that didn't take long at all.
Hey, dog, did you hear that, whatchamacallit? Did you hear what happened to Yankum?
Oh, for the love of fuck.
No, I haven't heard what happened. What was happening? Yeah. Man, I just got here. You got me all confused. All right, what's going on?
He took a load. He took a load to the face.
Har. It wasn't a...
It was a big load.
Hey, Gunner.
I was using the bench grinder and
Go fuck yourself.
Shot in my eye.
That's mean.
What?
Yes.
Why?
You know why.
I don't know why. Why?
Oh. You don't know why?
No, I don't know why.
All right, well then never mind. What do you mean he took a huge load to the face?
Did you hear him? What he just explained?
No.
I
I don't want to know.
He had a metal grinder, and
I don't have a belt grinder. I wish I had a belt grinder. I have a bench grinder. I was using the bench grinder to grind some metal, and a piece of metal shot off into my eye.
Oh shit! Like,
So technically,
weren't you wearing goggles, dude?
Yes. No, not goggles.
Oh. Well.
That's where he just that. Oh. Here's your
Yeah,
son.
glasses aren't goggles there, buddy.
You
That's like one
doing
of my
okay though?
nightmares, like you'll be doing some shit like fucking sanding down some metal or some shit, or like how he was doing fucking grinding it. Next thing you know, just fucking right through the fucking head or the eye. Fuck that.
So, are you okay?
Good news for the dojo.
Can you like see?
That's a good point. Can you see out of that eye, Yankum? After the dude took the thing to your eye?
Yes, I can see out of it, and the dude would be the medical doctor that spent hopefully 7+ years in schooling in order. Like, I wouldn't just let some dude stick a fucking Dremel in my eye.
Well, it's not like he was Dr. Ned.
Basically, he ground off part of the cornea, I think it's called, right under my pupil in the iris. I can see out of it. It's kind of blurry. And it fucking sucks. It's irritating as shit.
Oh, I can imagine. Is the blurriness gonna go away within like a week?
He said that it should be fine. Like, my eye should be fine within 7 to 10 days.
Okay. As long as there's no permanent damage.
Right.
yeah. Let's see here.
So, good
All
news
right.
for the dojo. We had our first pay-per-view a couple weeks
Sweet.
ago.
Sweet, you're going to have to tell us all about that and your spot on the show. Because we're going to go live here. Well, we are live. We're just doing pre-show stuff. Hello, Spreaker friends. Pretty soon, hello, West friends. Let's hit that theme music and whatnot. I'm holding on. Jesus Christ.
For one thing, I'm not at my computer right now. And for another thing, since when did Donkey Shit... Well, I almost said Donkey Shits, which is still an accurate name. When did Donkey Lips get a part of the fucking show?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You can't just go giving people like him what's next? Fucking Net Jester gets a segment.
We should give him a segment. We should...
Oh.
No. I know this is broadcasted live, and that Jester's probably listening in. Hi, Jester.
Good.
But I think we should give Jester a segment, and then have him record it, and have him send it in, and then not use it.
Like you're a dick.
Let's have him do a weekly Stardom review or a Joshi General review, and then let's use it for 1 week.
Isn't this a guy who can't pronounce Japanese names at all?
I know, that's the best part.
That's the.
So it'd be like Vince Russo trying to pronounce.
Yo, it's that Nakamura guy.
I mean, I can't really
I want him to
pronounce half of those names either.
Like
But
saying Kairi Hujo, Kojo, whatever the fuck her name is.
Osuka.
Asuka.
Asuka.
Oscar.
Shinsuke. Shinsuke Nakamura.
I have no idea who this Oscar guy that Regal keeps talking about, but seems pretty amazing.
Tom Hero Aishi?
Ishii.
Maiko?
NATO? What is NATO doing there? Why is there an I in the middle?
Oh my god, NATO! It's NATO! They're coming down on Russia, brother!
Yeah, they're coming down all right.
Antonio
Inoki.
Antonio Inoki.
That's how you actually pronounce it.
Yeah, but that's the joke because Inoki, it sounds like an Italian.
Hit the music, God damn it, Yankum!
Isn't there an Italian dish like gnocchi?
Gnocchi is potato noodles.
See, my joke totally worked. Fuck you.
What do you use potato noodles for?
Oh, they're really good. You basically, I would use them with like a butter sauce. They're really good.
That actually does sound great.
Yeah, actually, and like more like Scandinavian countries have it too. So
that's weird. You think I would observe that?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean? Uh-oh. Come on, Yankum.
Uh-oh.
That's the noise you make when you find out Sonny's doing something. Or
Chap Dave, we got an uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is Chap Dave, over.
What'd you uh-oh?
The theme song seems to have just randomly
Did it delete itself?
Yes.
So, all right. So, since Matt Hardy has hacked into our podcast, I'd like to thank podcastthemes.com for our theme song. Normally speaking, we would play it at this point, but Yankum seems to have lost it.
He's got to have something to do, right?
So, do a song, somebody.
Here, I got a song. I'll just play the old one. How about that?
The old one.
Too late. I'm doing it. Maybe not. What the hell?
You can't do it.
There we go.
All right, that works. Alright, so everybody welcome, episode 231 of SmarkSnark.com, Smark Snark Podcast. I'm Gunner, and that's Omega VR.
I sure hope that Hideo and Tammy comes back from injury soon.
Oh, me too, man. Also joining us this week is the one-eyed wonder, the Aegis BDS. If you can actually hear. I mean, I know that...
I can... Look,
Man.
It's your fault for talking over the theme song.
Well, he's on mobile, so maybe he's in his Mitsubishi.
Also joining us this week is Vassar. Vassar.
Yes. I don't even know what to do with the pain that I'm in right now.
I figured as much. Drink more. Drunk Vassar is best Vassar.
Next week, maybe.
All right. Donkey Lips is here. Hi, Donkey Lips.
I thought you said Mitsurugi. I thought that was a Mitsurugi brand though, Omega.
We're not playing Soul Calibur. Save us, dog.
That's actually what one of my friends legitimately called Mitsurugi. He called him Mitsubishi because he couldn't pronounce it. It was great.
That's one sticky situation.
Is it not?
Sorry, dude. I had to bust your balls a little bit. All right. Let's 812-408-9666 or 812-408. Woo! Somebody picked that up. Jesus fucking Christ. SmarkSnark.com, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon. Check that out. We got stuff going on. All right. So into 231 because we got a whole bunch of news. WWE announced. Okay, so here comes some numbers for you guys. 1, which is good, 0.458 million paid subscribers for the third quarter of 2016, up from 1.306 million in the third quarter of last year. When asked about potential sale of the company, particularly one that would allow them to control their own destiny, Vince McMahon said, "We're open for business." In other Vince-related news, he reportedly blew a gasket during Brock Lesnar's segment on Raw as fans continued to chant Lesnar against Goldberg, including Goldberg sucks, leading him to ending the segment early. Vince McMahon is the dumbest man on the planet because you're in his hometown where he went to school and you're thinking that he could get heel heat.
Minnesota loves Brock Lesnar. This is not a fucking secret. UFC put UFC pay-per-views in Minnesota because Brock Lesnar draws here. How the fuck do you not know that, or how the fuck does someone not tell Vince?
Well,
which is too bad because they could have built a really cool segment around this. Is, there are a lot of people who love Brock Lesnar. There are a lot of people who love Goldberg. We're going to see these two fight and maybe make it interesting. Instead, they're just like, all right, end it. It's like let Paul Heyman do what he does.
Well, Paul was kind of floundering out there too.
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised that Paul couldn't turn it around. It felt like he wasn't sure what to say.
Well, I mean, there's something, there are only miracles can fix, and I'm just glad that he was able to, be able to get out there and do something. The man
won a national championship for the Golden Gophers. He's never going to be booed in this town ever.
Well, but the other thing.
Well, I felt like he could have said something to kind of, because he was like, well, the only thing I remember him saying was, the one or two smart-ass Goldberg fans, and that was supposed to kind of, jar people on at the same time. But I don't know. I felt like he could have said something about Minnesota, which I guess they weren't going to do because it is Lesnar's hometown, and Lesnar, wants to be there.
Lesnar would smash.
Yeah, I mean,
Lesnar would smash.
I mean, it's a pretty cliche way to do it, but it's also a pretty effective way.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it have to be face versus heel? Why couldn't this be like a just face versus face? Hey, we're doing it again. Let's see who's the better man now, legitimately.
Well, I mean, they could have done that, but Vince.
Legit
Vince.
Now, can I ask something about those network numbers?
Yeah.
Are they consecutively down from last year? Sorry about the business talk, but I'm wondering if it's consecutively down. Like
no. You misheard. You misheard, you dummy. 1.458 million compared to this time last year with 1.306.
Okay, so we are.
So in other words, 1.5 million subscribers to the network, which is when we were talking about the network. Oh, I'd say maybe 50 or so episodes ago, or maybe 100 episodes ago, just about. This number was the number that they needed to hit to be extremely profitable. The goal is 2 million, but right now they
not
are
extremely profitable, but profitable, like worthwhile to run it.
Yep, and let's put it this way: the number 5 streaming service online right now.
Okay, so good. We're not seeing any kind of decline. That's what I'd like to hear.
Amazon, I think it's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, MLB TV, WWE Network.
Do you think Flow Slam will go ahead and crack that number?
We'll get into that in a
We'll get
minute.
into that, yeah.
But
Amazon would be so much higher on there if they would not make it to where you have to pay $100 for a year, like all at once.
You can pay monthly for like 11 something a month.
It's really creepy, by the way, when I have really, really old fans that listen into the show. Hi, Piper's Punch. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. At a hearing Wednesday, we're getting into TNA news. This is going to be great. Billy Corgan's lawyers claim that Corgan saved TNA thrice and entered into a pledge agreement with Dixie Carter that included an insolvency clause. Also, Corgan was lied to about TNA's debts and was excluded from management decisions despite his title of president. And TNA is currently behind on paying talents, blaming this lawsuit when they are actually insolvent and unable to do so. Carter's lawyers called the lawsuit a scheme to take over the company, and that Corgan resisted efforts to be repaid so that he could do so, noting that Carter owns 92.5%, Anthem owns 2%, and Aerolux owns 5%. He called it predatory lending at its worst, and once again stated that TNA is willing to pay off Corgan's loan, and an attorney for Anthem stated that they are willing to pay off Corgan's loan. A ruling will be handled down this coming Monday. From what I've read, and from what I understand, Corgan is going to win the case, despite the fact that Aerolux wants to pay Corgan back for all the money that he invested in. Now, there are 2 ways that this is going to go down. The first way is that Corgan loses and TNA continues its downward spiral, further down the tubes.
They go bankrupt.
Go bankrupt.
Let's be clear. This is not getting turned around after that point.
If they lose, they go bankrupt, and then Aerolux and Anthem will own it, and that means that it's going to be owned by the Fight Network, which means that they can play old TNA tapes until they die, which is perfectly fine, because there's a lot of old ROH guys on there, and they're working pretty well off of that type library too. Don't get me wrong. However, there is there is the possibility that Corgan wins. And I think that this is the more likely possibility, considering that Corgan could sell off the tape collection. By the way, I think the number was 6.1 million around, just about for the tape collection that WWE offered. And that would be almost enough to put TNA back into solvency.
Dixie lied to Vince and company when she was talking with WWE in about June about its debt. She would not reveal to them how much in the hole they were, so that way they could buy off the company. Yeah, she tried to fuck Vince McMahon.
Well, the biggest news coming out of all of this is if there's apparently an insolvency clause, that essentially means that if they go bankrupt, it goes to Corgan. Corgan becomes the sole owner because he's put in so much money that he becomes the owner. And that's how bankruptcy court works anyway. Whoever puts in the most money gets the piece of whatever share. And it's more than likely Corgan's going to want to work with the Fight Network anyway. It's clear they want the product. The problem, as fucking always, is
Dixie fucking Carter.
Belle of the South, right?
Yeah. So the other
fuck
thing
her,
is
Pena Energy, and get them out of my fucking business.
Here's the funny thing, though, to me, is that Corgan in rock and roll and entertainment has kind of a notorious history of being hard to work with, but the locker room is almost entirely united to have him win because anything is better than Dixie, literally anything.
Now, also, I want to throw in, just to throw out TNA's defense. First thing, they're saying the insolvency clause that's inside that contract is null and void because it's actually illegal under Tennessee law, which that's a little gray area because it technically is, technically isn't. The second thing is they're claiming and I quote, this is from their fucking lawyer, they are not solvent, they are a profitable company, they are a valuable company, and they have people wanting to purchase the company and get involved with the company because they are so valuable.
They are a profitable company in so much as their contracts overseas still exist, and those are on the verge of not existing.
Well, insolvency, as defined by Tennessee, is basically your debts are greater than your assets. And Dixie's side, of course, is claiming that they have greater value than the sum of their debts.
No chance.
Which, I'm not, probably not. I mean,
a few Aussies, I can believe it.
If they can convince them, like, for example, that WWE was willing to pay, X amount of dollars for the tape library, and that actually supersedes, or exceeds, I should say, whatever debt they're in, then maybe you can make that claim. But it's all pretty subjective, I think.
But in that case, they'd essentially have to make moves to start selling the library, because they can't sit around and continue losing money. The whole point of this is that once you hit bankruptcy court, it's over with. Someone's either getting the company, or like Dixie's gone no matter what. She's just delaying the inevitable. It's so stupid.
Well, I mean, that's all she's got left.
This is going to court like this.
Yeah. But this is all because Dixie's a very prideful woman. I mean, that's it. This is essentially Dixie's crucifixion, and it's quite embarrassing to see her go through things like this, where it's like even Jarrett got out of business with her. Jeff Jarrett, the Jarrett name, the failures of the fucking wrestling industry to start your own fucking businesses. Hello GFW, hello USWA. Hello, Smoky
TNA.
Mountain.
Go back and watch. It's pretty easy to find on YouTube the video of Dixie Carter addressing the TNA roster, like about 2011, just before Hulk Hogan comes in. You see all these faces: Eric Young, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles. She basically tells them all to go find somewhere else to work, and they did.
Mm-hmm. They did.
All right, let's get into some good news here. There's a streaming service called Flow Sports, a startup with $21.2 million in recent funding, will launch Flow Slam, hoping to provide non-WWE content on a wide scale. They have already announced 5-year partnerships with WWN Live for all their property streaming, including Evolve and Shine. While it's most likely speculation at this stage, there would be actual bidding for the content between Flow Sports and WWE, and Flow Sports is willing to inject significant amounts of major indie groups that sign up, which could mean higher wrestler salaries and bigger guest stars, which could also mean wrestlers will be as quick to jump at NXT offers or remain there. Coincidentally, WWE provided funding to Flow Sports earlier this year when they were mostly a streaming amateur sports, beach volleyball, and a couple other things that they did.
The big one in this story is amateur wrestling.
Yep.
That's why WWE was investing.
But have no influence over any decisions. Meltz reports that PWG, at least, has turned Flow Sports down flat without a conversation, and that WWE is not happy about the price for indie content now, quote unquote, skyrocketing. So in other words, and let me translate this for you, for everybody who's not in the business. Croc can probably attest to this. So what this means for a whole lot of people that you know and love that aren't in the WWE, who are resisting to go into the WWE
We gonna make
machine,
money, Nick.
basically,
Some money, boys.
this means that if this particular platform takes off and actually becomes some sort of profitable, whoever's working for those companies are going to see that end of the profit, which means that everybody's going to start making money, which means that indie prices are about to go up. And
Dude,
for a second,
I'm so happy I work with WWN.
Yep. I mean, at the end of the day, that's exactly what's going to happen, because FIP, Evolve, and Shine are going to be on this.
Also,
I would be surprised if
Mania weekend too.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, stuff from Chikara on here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw stuff from the bigger indies up in the Northeast, like Northeast Wrestling and that kind of stuff, where you hear about all those super matches happening. AAW, that kind of thing. Yep. or potentially some
I
foreign
could see
properties.
Smash. All the
Foreign
Brit
properties,
refs, all the Brit
ICW, right, and all the
In
all of that
fact,
stuff.
Final Battle's listed on there.
Yep, and ROH could potentially end up on there too. So basically, what this is
basically what I read was that every non-WWE property, major and minor, is on the table, including TNA, despite what a mess they are.
Do you think? Well, since they have New Japan World, I don't think they would. But
no,
do you
they wouldn't.
think they would be
World, but
I think
TNA
it might push New Japan World to possibly look into getting rights to, say, Dragon Gate or some other
Oh yeah,
Dragon
company
Gate,
like that.
no, Dragon Gate, Noah, AJPW, that kind of
I could
thing.
even
I
see
could
Stardom.
see
Well,
New Japan World turning into that.
Well, you brought up Chikara, and Chikara has their own
System,
service.
yeah.
But
and there's a whole bunch of other people that have their own service too, like
Yeah.
Smark Video.
But then there's the potential that maybe they could, if this is the hot hand, then license their material
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of like the way Netflix and Hulu work, where you can buy episodes of any show, but then you can also see them on Hulu or what have you.
The best
I
part
think
about
this
this
is a big
is,
game changer. Really, like this is the big game changer we've been waiting for.
and I've heard rumors of $15 a month for the service or something like that. And if I'm paying $15 a month for this, $9.99 for WWE Network and $9.99 for Netflix, let me tell you something. That is the best the best $35 that you're going to spend on all the things you're going to watch on television.
You essentially just cut out fucking cable. That's it.
Exactly. And people wonder why Monday Night Football ratings are down 25%.
People wonder why fucking Raw is pulling lower than 95.
Well, let's put it this way. If Monday Night Football is down 25% and Raw is down this low, the correlation there is the same. All right, that's enough of this.
Just one last thing is, like, the big key of this is they've been doing this for a very long time, and they know what they're doing, and they've survived doing it. So
that's true.
Exactly. Super hype. Another TNA lawsuit for just over $200,000 is being filed by Bank Direct Capital Finance after they loaned twice that to TNA to pay certain insurance premiums, and that they've been paying late back the other half. Both Iro Shinai and Kairi Hojo have gotten offers to start in WWE in 2017 in the last week or two. WWE wanted Trish Stratus to compete with Asuka at TakeOver Toronto in order to drive up Kana's heel heat for a future program with Ember Moon. However, Trish is having her second child, so they went with Mickie James instead. Variety reports that Fox has picked up a new comedy from The Rock and Will Ferrell, inspired by Rock's real-life relationship and experiences with former WWE head writer Brian Gerwitz. Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten revealed both to have suffered from CTE, so a whole bunch of stuff there to talk about.
Trish is actually pregnant. It's one of the reasons why she's not competing as well. So
that's what we're saying. Yeah, no, she's pregnant. I could see Trish coming in for a later time though. And I asked this to Wes the other night, but what would you guys rather see? Trish against Asuka or Trish against Charlotte?
Asuka.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, okay. I thought there was some sort of potential debate there.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't hate seeing. I think you kind of have to establish. I mean, Charlotte's basically the top female heel, but I think you kind of have to establish her a little bit more in terms of legacy, in a way, before that match becomes more enticing than, say, with Asuka, who everybody kind of, she hasn't been as established as Charlotte, but everybody kind of knows who she is and what she's doing and what she's about. Right. And, it kind of, it just seems like the more enticing matchup. It's like saying, would you rather see the Undertaker versus uh, you know, Braun Strowman, or the Undertaker versus Austin Aries.
Right. Completely understandable. Oh, another news bit to add in here. Fucking what is it? Fucking Gopher Boy, done. Fucking hates Becky Lynch's accent, so she's not going to get any promo time apparently. So that's the rumor.
Is that right?
That's the outrageous claim that Brian Alvarez made. Yes.
I almost believe it, because just hearing Becky on SmackDown, it was like, is she doing that on purpose? Just the way she's just over accentuating every word, and like I almost made a post like, let's do a Becky Lynch promo, and then I almost just typed all vowels.
Probably. And I think she was doing that specifically, and it just seems to me that it's terrible. Is anybody excited about the Rock's real life relationship with Brian Gerwitz?
From what I heard, it's gonna be like a single cam comedy. I have the feeling it's probably gonna be a lot like Nikki, if you remember that old show on the WB. Anybody?
Vaguely.
It starred Nikki Cox. She starred as an aspiring Vegas showgirl who ends up marrying a guy who comes to Vegas for like a graduation party or something. And the guy decides he wants to, instead of going to college and, doing whatever, he decides to follow his dream of being a pro wrestler there in Vegas. And they give him, he's a bigger guy, they give him the gimmick of the crybaby. And they had a few wrestlers on. They had, for example, Kevin Nash guest starred as a wrestler who was secretly gay, and Randy Savage guest starred as a wrestler who was so old he screamed when he went to the toilet. Stuff like that. So I imagine it being kind of similar to that.
All right, let's and by the way, to the surprise of no one, Balls and Axel suffered from CTE.
The guy's known for taking chair shots to the head.
It's a disgusting thing that this is like news. I understand that CTE is a big, touchy subject, if you would, but I mean, if you were to look for something obvious, that's the case. But all right, moving on. 15-minute time limit. No noises from Yankum because he's currently incapacitated. So, ding, ding, ding. We're going to talk about Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. Cedric Alexander, Lindsay Dorado, and Sin Cara versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Daivari in the pre-show.
It'd be good to warm up the crowd, which is, I see them becoming the new Ryback Kalisto in terms of this is their spot on the card to warm things up if it's not the title match.
Right. It should be interesting. I do enjoy the trios work that the cruiserweights have done, but this is.
Oh well, really though. I mean, even just having these guys on Raw in the first place. I mean, 3 months ago, who would have thought?
That's the weird thing. Everybody was clamoring over the Cruiserweight Classic, and now all of a sudden they're on Raw. I mean, okay, so Omega, when Lindsay left, Chikara, right? And I told you in 5 years that guy's going to be on Raw. Would you have believed me?
Not unless he won Tough Enough or something.
Especially keeping his gimmick and his mask. God forbid.
Yeah. I mean, that's the surprising thing too. I mean, hey, I mean, you look back at the future as now, even Helios, aka Ricochet. Who would have thought that guy would have been such a hot property?
Man, if
Yeah,
you
exactly.
would have told me 3 years ago that Cedric Alexander would be on Raw and had a match of the year candidate, I would have laughed at you. But he has.
It would be like they're doing a show in Florida, and there's a Category 5 hurricane, and everybody, it's on the very north end of Florida, like the border, and nobody could get there but like Cedric Alexander and Zack Ryder, and they just let him have an hour-long match on the show.
Right. Bailey versus Dana Brooke. I didn't realize they like goose shit in the ring.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. They debuted Bailey, so they have to find something for her to do. I will say this: they've actually made Dana the upper hand in this feud, which is kind of surprising. I think there are certain people that can never really lose, or at least not a lot. Like if they get made the best of one week, they have to get it back the next week and get it back in spectacular fashion, like your Randy Ortons and your Cenas, obviously, and probably at this point too, even Roman Reigns, of course. But basically, and then there are certain people that you could just beat them up because they're naturally the underdog character, like Daniel Bryan, or in this case Bailey. So she can obviously lose. She can lose and lose and lose, and then at the pay-per-view she can win. And they should be doing that a lot more with some of these top people, but there some people they're just so afraid to have lose. So,
but not in this case. Enzo and Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson finally wins a match. Please, oh my God!
If you'd have told me a year ago that the Bullet Club was going to be in WWE and that they wouldn't be together and that they would be jobbing to the Usos and to Enzo and Cass, I would have said, yeah, I can believe that.
I would say I could believe the Usos part, not to Enzo and Cass though. And yeah, I mean that's all they're fucking doing. And
a year ago I could, because Enzo and Cass were as hot a hand as they are now.
Right. And I mean they don't even need a microphone to do their shtick.
Yeah, really. I mean, like that's why they're so over. Is the fact that almost every promo is something new, something different, something. That's why the New Day in part got so over, because it wasn't just their catchphrases. It was they had a little spice to it at every single time. So, I still remember that thread when we were posting photos of new OVW recruits, or not OVW, Florida,
FCW,
and there's Enzo's photo, and he's the guy with the big tattoo across his ribs that says "Life," and life is a bullet. And everybody was like, what were they thinking when they signed this guy? But, never say never.
Exactly.
Enzo and Cass win. The Bullet Club get jobbed out again. They are the new job squad for life.
Maybe. I could see them winning this one, to be perfectly honest. In some sort of nasty shenanigans that, somebody, that Anderson gets Gallows gets the pin. Because Anderson can't pin shit, apparently. In WWE, at least. Which is stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah. I think if Finn hadn't gotten hurt, they maybe at some point would have put them together. Which maybe they still will. But, they're kind of just... It's kind of that case, again, of they have too many people, and they don't really know what to do with each one, because, you can't elevate the club above, Enzo and Cass, but you got to have them in a high-profile thing, so,
Exactly. So getting to title matches here, we got 5 of them on this show. T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick for the cruiserweight. Kendrick finally capture it?
I think he will, just because if he doesn't, they've already established that he's pretty much on the outs. And I think there are more face contenders for the belt than there are really heel ones. Because if you kind of take Perkins out of the equation, then you can push Alexander, you can push Swan, you can push Swan in particular. I think is probably next in line.
Yeah, I think Swan is definitely next in line. He's got the theme and he's got the push, and I think that's good. That's coming. What you call it? TJ's great. Okay, am I the only one who's terribly interested in the storyline, as it's completely different from everything else that's going on right now?
I've actually really enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's different. It's better.
It's kind of different. I don't know if it's necessarily. It feels different for sure, but it does still fit in with Raw. It's weird how they've made it mesh so well, even though they're such different things. But I've enjoyed it, but it's got to have a payoff now. Either T.J. Perkins wins and Brian Kendrick goes and attempts to teach Eva Marie to wrestle for the 100th time, or he wins and he terrorizes the division with Nice and Gulak at his side.
I could see that being the more likely of cases. Speaking of title retentions, New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Man, oh man! I really hope that I really wish that Reddit post wasn't right about Cesaro and Sheamus.
The Jolly Boys, I like it.
God,
fucking Jolly Boys. I don't understand why Cesaro and Sheamus are a thing. I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love both of them individually for what they are. But as a team, even when they have chemistry, I'm like, you're boring. Damn it. It makes me want to go watch Kings of Wrestling. I mean, that's legit all I want to do right now is just watch 2005 Kings of Wrestling or 2006, 2007.
We really did lose out on a fucking special thing when they just fucked Cassius.
Pretty much.
Like, goddamn. And not only that.
Yeah, but then we got Fat Chris Hero, and he's pretty great.
Oh, dude. I saw, for the first time, I saw Chris Hero live at the same event that we had our first fucking iPay-per-view with, because we're affiliated with WWN. So, I went to Evolve 70, and fuck, dude. Chris Hero's so fucking awesome. Live, like, fuck.
Has anybody
cool ass motherfucker.
Did anybody call him Crisco Hero yet?
No, but they should.
I'm sure.
Somebody's had to do it at some point.
He hits hard as a motherfucker.
Well, okay, wait a minute. How close are we to the New Day actually losing the belts here? What's the countdown? Because this shit is getting old.
It would be pretty.
Still 2 months. For a month, I guess.
Yeah, I'm honestly afraid they're gonna do it here because it would be pretty stupid. But just the fact that they're even, doing this in the first place is just more of that same, we got to do something with these guys. We can't let them fall by the wayside, but we can't elevate them above the New Day, or maybe we can. And let's combine storylines here, and then
Let me also just mention Cesaro's contract's coming up in a month or two.
He's not going anywhere.
I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure either.
I'm sorry. His wife, I believe, is training the girls down in NXT.
Very true.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Maybe.
He's got. I think they are. I thought they were. I could be wrong.
She's
the story.
Training down there anymore. She's a road agent for the main roster.
Oh yeah, then there you go. No. That's Sarah Stock. That's different. Jesus Christ.
And
Roman
now it's time for the triple main event.
No.
No, it is the triple main event. There are 3 main events.
No.
Triple main. It's
Roman, triple main event, and they're gonna stack all the cages on top of each other, and
It's
they're gonna
gonna be
have the same triple cage in that match.
triple cage match.
I would actually watch that.
And Hulkamania.
What was that
But-
match from?
And then all of a sudden,
Right.
RoboCop comes out of nowhere and rips open the cage.
It'll be that match from Ready to Rumble.
That's what that is.
That's-
That's triple cage.
Triple cage. That's the joke.
But the third cage has to be full of guitars.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
not it's
God.
not a triple cage unless that's the stipulation.
And
You
then
might have had a
hidden,
women's revolution, but you never drew a dime.
That was the best part of the triple cage is the tiny little room filled with guitars that there's literally no reason to go into. But they didn't both of them go in there and just smash each other with
Both of
guitars.
them went in.
Yeah, it was like it really was like about as tall as they were.
Dude,
Was
I
there,
would
like,
be
not
so
enough room to
hyped for
swing a
this.
guitar?
I'd be so hyped for this pay per view if it had the triple cage. I bet
Dude.
Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins would put on one hell of a triple cage match.
I think they
would.
missed the fucking boat not doing War Games.
Well, I mean, obviously, because that's the, WCW kind of thing. But yes, they missed the boat doing War Games. Now, my question is this. Okay, so a couple questions for everybody in the room. Do you think that Roman Reigns and Rusev go outside of the cell in this
Yes.
match? I got one yes.
no.
No, here's a better
No.
question. Do you think we see color?
Not in this one.
No, I think this is going to be obviously the tamest of the 3.
Could
I
see
think
him
that-
spearing, or Roman spearing Rusev into the cage wall a few times. If it gives, I'm not sure.
I can see Roman spearing Rusev into the steel steps and winning.
I could see the spot that they did at WrestleMania where Roman, or for that matter, Rusev could charge at Roman. They knocked down that far end of the wall, that far wall,
Mhm.
over where the announce table would be. It gets knocked over, and that kind of gives them the ability to kind of go into that area, kind of behind the cage, again, where the announce
Mhm.
tables would be. And then I don't know what you do from there because there's no announce tables. There's no table. I mean, maybe grab the chair from the ring announcer or something, or the ring bell.
Or,
Okay.
or you go up.
I don't see them going up.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
I'll
think
tell you
anybody's
who's going up.
be honest with
Sasha and Charlotte are going
Yes.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna hold my judgment for that.
All right. We'll hold our judgment for that because it will probably end up being the last match on the card.
Who is digging his heels in not to do it? That's
That
right,
guy's
Shane
Vince.
McMahon,
Or Shane?
his father.
Yeah, Vince.
up.
I was like, wait, what?
I don't agree. To be perfectly honest, I think that they'll go on last. I think that Vince will see the light. It'll depend on what spots they're able to do. If it's the first match that they're doing, like it's rumored, then I could see it being a very tame match. But
Well, see,
if
that
it's-
was the other thing. There was a worry that if it goes on too late or in the middle, then people will leave.
right. But I think that if it goes on first, then it'll be a very tame match. They'll do a whole bunch of spots, and everybody be like, "Oh, look at the women." But then if it's the end, then you could see Sasha Banks getting fucking murdered by being pushed off the top of the cage for some reason,
No.
or some
They'll
bull-
never let them do anything close.
Yeah.
to that.
Well,
Well,
I don't even see them going up.
I can see them going up. I
I
could
could
see.
see
I,
it.
I could see Dana coming down with bolt cutters. I could see whatchamacallit. I could see them opening up the door, which is how they get out. I could see them. I could see them battling on the cage, like the cage side, and I could see them bashing their heads into it, and then I could see Sasha, who I think is going to go over here, making Charlotte submit on top of the cage.
Two
Wait,
things.
does a submission count on
Yeah.
top of the cage?
I was gonna say if they go to the top, the match is ending at the top. Whether it's
Yeah.
supposed to or not, which it's not. But
Well, there's precedent for that though, because didn't Triple H and Jericho, that
Yep.
talent cell ended with, I can't remember, I think H pinned him on top after a pedigree or something.
Yes, there's been an ending of the match on the top. So yes, I could see them doing that.
I would say Dana's going to interfere. The thing is, Dana has a match against Bailey that night.
Doesn't
the other
matter.
thing,
Well,
do you guys think the unthinkable happens, and whether it be hard way or not?
Yes.
One of them get fucking cut?
Someone's gonna hard way. One of the two of them is gonna hard way, and I bet you it's Sasha.
if they go into business for themselves, that's the only way it's gonna happen. Which is possible. I mean, I'm not saying it won't.
They would get a lot of shit backstage.
Why?
If they went into business for themselves,
Oh, I mean,
you
if
don't
they-
think they would fucking.
Well,
you don't think.
It's one of those things where it's better to ask for forgiveness than
Yeah,
permission.
I don't disagree, and I think they'd catch a lot of fucking shit over it. But
I can see it.
they're not going to do anything.
It's going to be hard way. It's going to be hard way, and they're going to be on the top. So that means that the doctors can't get to them. So that the match can't really end necessarily, but it'll be violent, bloody, and
that is the thing. I mean, there's a certain pressure to not end the match, whether anything really. I mean, they could go to the top with that not even being scheduled, and what are they going to do about it? They're going to play the music and end it like the Lesnar segment.
Exactly.
Here's the other thing. They have the pressures on them to make this feel like it's supposed to be in the cage. Like, you can't just have them come out, do a regular women's match, and then have them by the same rules inside the Hell in a Cell.
I think honestly, they might let them get color just to prevent them from going up the side of the cage or wanting to climb on top or doing something like that. Just that's a much safer thing than. I mean, you miss a hole on that side of the cage and you're falling off. That's not good.
I just thought of something awful, you guys.
What?
They get up on top of the cage. Foley's music comes on, and he comes waddling out as fast as he can because the poor man can barely fucking walk.
No, don't do that.
And then he stops the match for their safety.
Yank him.
Yes.
Yank him. This isn't TNA.
I swear to fucking God, if Mick Foley comes out during this match, I am turning it off. I'm not watching the end of it. That segment on Raw was so. It was just like
okay,
so
hokey.
That's
gonna be that was so bad. Mickey. It was so cringy.
I love Mick, but Jesus Christ, that was
you
so
could
bad.
tell he was trying, but it was too little, too late for me.
The thing is, Mick does not need to be involved in this fucking storyline. These two have had a long feud. Why can't it be about that? Instead, it's about a fucking PTSD
war
veteran.
He could, but they haven't done anything with it until then. They, up until this point, he was happy-go-lucky. Yeah, you guys can be in the cell. You guys deserve it. And then all of a sudden, but know this, and it just doesn't.
Why?
Yeah, if he'd have fought it from the beginning, it would have been fine. That's what if they were going to do this, that's what he should have been like. I don't think this is a good idea, and then Stephanie overrides him or something.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'll put it into perspective. Why was Sasha Bailey so good in NXT? And I don't mean going into Brooklyn. I mean going into their Iron Woman match at TakeOver Respect. Regal was not involved. He just came out and said, "Fine, we'll give it to you." They built it by themselves. That's why it was so good.
Vince doesn't have that much faith in the women to let them build by themselves for something that's this important.
Either way, it's going to tear the house down. They're going to do their best. They do when the pressure's on the two of them. They do really, really good work. I have every faith that this is going to be an awesome match, even if there's no color whatsoever.
I think that's
And
potential
even
to
if they
match
stay
of the night.
And I could see it being the match of the night.
The only way it fails is if they stop the match and suck all the air out of it, or they try to do. They're gonna try to do 3 or 4, wacky spots, and if somebody gets hurt, kind of like they did at SummerSlam, and it slows the momentum down, then that might kill the whole thing. But I think they have planned this out to the point where they're gonna try to make it something.
I just hope no one gets hurt in this. Please, let's not.
I think they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
You're not going to see any steel weapons. You're not going to see any blood unless again
I think we'll see.
They decide to go to their end. I don't think you'll see a chair. I don't think you'll see.
Really?
I think you'll see a kendo stick. You'll see the stairs. You're not going to see a chair. You're not going to see.
You'll see a stop sign.
You're not going to see aluminum soda cans, maybe a fire extinguisher, but only
I could see them saving all that for
only the spraying with it.
Yeah, spray. No shots to the head or anything. You're not going to see.
Of course, no shots to the head. Fine.
Let's move on.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
You might see handcuffs.
Okay.
Speaking of things that we only talk about when we're on episodes ending with 69, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell for the Universal title of the world.
Sleeper match of the night.
Sleeper match, dude. This is gonna be fucking sweet.
Match for the main title and probably in the main event.
With two of arguably the best guys.
It's part of the triple main event.
It's
How
the
could it
only
be a
main
sleeper
event
match?
I'm going to submit that this is a good match for about 10 minutes, and then it's all going to get destroyed.
I think the coolest.
They're gonna have Jericho interfere, and then it's gonna become a schmoz. It's gonna become a schmoz more than it is and a really powerful big time cell match. And I think they're gonna be fine with that because again, you've got the women to do the big time cell match.
So here's how it schmozes out. Jericho breaks into the cage somehow and tries to help Kevin Owens, but ends up hurting him somehow, causing him to lose. And then Owens turns on Jericho so Jericho can go tour with Fozzy.
This isn't a tour. This isn't a tour or a turn. This isn't the time for that. This is Jericho. This is Jericho shaking at the bars, trying to get something into Kevin to help him, and having it not work.
Or it's not Jericho at all. We may be seeing an appearance from Big Papa H.
I thought
I could see him walking down to the ring, busting that door open, looking at Seth, saying, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
No, they're clearly building that for Mania. That's way too soon.
I thought Jericho had to go tour soon, though.
When did you hear this?
I thought we talked about that a couple weeks ago. That he was about ready to go back out on tour.
To make the album first.
I mean, all those Fozzy fans,
right?
Just going to be so disappointed.
All 6 of them.
See, I'm really excited for this match because Seth Rollins he's already got a Hell in a Cell under his belt. I want to see what crazy CrossFit shit he's going to try in this. He's going to try climbing like the inside of the cage, or I think he's just going to do something wacky because there are 3 of them and his needs to stand out.
He's going to do a Phoenix splash off the top. I'm kidding. Here's the thing about doing a schmoz, and this is it. This is if Charlotte and Sasha. Really, it can go either way. If they're not the main event, or even if they are.
Fozzy isn't going on tour at all.
If they put this match before Charlotte and Sasha, and they have this become a schmoz, it has the ability to suck all the energy out of the crowd because they're tired of because it's going to be a shit finish, and they're going to be like, "What the fuck was that?"
That's a risk, but at the same time, I feel like if they did that, then they would know, we still have the women coming up. They are the actual main event. They're gonna, all the BS is out of the way. This is gonna be for real.
It
I
could
think that-
also negatively affect the match, though.
I think that the best part of this is going to be when we realize that Charlotte and Sasha are going on last. When you know that those the two of them are going to put on the best show of their goddamn lives, or are going to try to at the very least. And then you have all that interference crap out of the way and all of that nonsense. I'm just really excited to see Owens and Seth in the cell. I think it'll be very tame, relatively speaking. I don't think that there'll be any crazy spots necessarily. But I do see the cell coming into use where maybe Seth climbs up, goes up really high, and then does a crossbody off of it or something like that, like off the wall.
Like
or
I said,
something.
Phoenix Splash.
Off a wall into the
Phoenix Splash through the cell, through a table,
with a
Jesus.
ladder on top.
Yeah, he drags a ladder on top of the fucking
He
cell,
literally
climbs it.
crossed Jesus.
1440 Phoenix Splash kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. I want ice cream.
I could take a blizzard.
All right, so let's go on through the Dairy Queen drive-through. Holy shit!
Blizzard to the face.
Oh, just like he had earlier. Oh. All right, ratings. That's Vassar.
Oh, speaking sick of things to the face. It is time for the ratings. Starting off, as usual, is TNA Impact, which drew 353,000 viewers, up 24% from the 284,000 viewers the week previous. On to Raw, 2.819 million viewers, down from the 3.130 million the week previous. And finally, on to SmackDown, which drew 2.127 million viewers, down 11.6% from the 2.405 million the week prior.
The fuck is
One
up
reason.
with that drop off?
One reason. World Series game number 1.
Yeah, game
Yeah,
one of
that
the World
explains it all.
Series.
It's the club. It's the Cubs versus Indians, boys. It's the end of the world.
Am I the only one that wants the Cubs to get to like one game away from winning the World Series and then just like fucking fail?
No,
Yes.
I want that exact thing to happen.
I want that to
actually.
happen, but I also kind of want them to win and then
Oh,
not win again for 100 and plus years.
Yeah. I don't really watch baseball, and by I don't really watch baseball, I mean I went to a game once when I was a kid, so I don't care about baseball, but just the thought of them like just getting so fucking close, they get their shine and then just fucking smack down. Something about that just makes me happy.
I hope it's just like last time when they made it to the end. I think it was the National League, and it was like that one crucial game. The fucking homeboy stuck his hand out, ended up catching that ball, and it literally fucked the team.
I just want the Cubs to win at 6 because I don't like the Tribe that much. Just saying. All right, moving on. Birthdays. That's Dogs territory.
Also, I want Cleveland to win just to see people get pissed off at their logo again
Cleveland Rock.
because it's funny.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
birthday!
Racist.
If you think that's bad, there's a logo of theirs from like the 1940s. It's got a legitimate hook nose. It is
Now
preposterous.
that's fucking
I always-
racist.
Yeah, it
I
is.
always, I always think it's funny the conversation's always about the Redskins and not the Indians. Until until the Indians
because they
actually
never
get
had
something.
any success.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
sucked.
yeah, as long as you're terrible, sure.
Yeah, no one
It's
cares.
Cleveland. No one gives a shit.
All right. Happy birthdays on the 28th of this month to Christy Hemme and MVP, 2 of the best TNA workers of all time. Happy birthday on the 29th to Mr. Wonderful himself, Paul Orndorff. Happy birthday on the 30th to Darren Young, Charmel, Yoshinari.
BR.
Yes, this weekend, wrestling history, circa 1978, where Butcher Brannigan and Ox Baker defeat Larry O'Day and Mario Milano to win the NWA Austra-Asian Tag Team title in Sydney, Australia. Jump to 1978, where TNT defeats El Nazi for the Mexican
What?
National Heavyweight
What?
title in Mexico City, Mexico. And in 1978, Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen defeat Tommy Rich and Mr. Wrestling 2 for the NWA Georgia Tag Team title in Atlanta, Georgia.
Did the man stutter?
Can you spell El Nazi for me?
Nazi.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Leave it to Mexico.
And that
God
was this
damn it.
weekend. That was this week in wrestling history, not this week.
Exactly. Happy trails. Happy trails to friends and families of Jean Frenchie Martin Gagne, who passed away at the age of 66 of cancer. And happy trails to Austin Aries, who may have suffered an injury at the Fresno NXT live event following a kick from Shinsuke Nakamura that saw the match stopped and a black eye, possibly a broken jaw, to Aries.
Oh,
If you've seen the pictures, if you've seen the pictures of Austin Aries today, holy Jesus, that eye!
Mm-hmm.
It looks terrible.
That fucking kick he gave him was fucking stiff, dude.
His eye looks how my jaw feels.
I'm wondering if it was a receipt for something.
He looks like he got hit with Negan's bat.
I guess what you call it? Him and what's his face? Go to the same chicken eatery.
Don't.
But have you seen Shinsuke's foot?
What's right?
What did he break his foot on? What did he break his foot on?
Not even in a
fucking
mask.
Aries' face.
It was pretty bruised up from what they showed.
Jesus, why the fuck would you kick somebody in the face that hard in the ring? That doesn't.
Because you can. Because you can. What do we watch this week in wrestling? We're gonna start with the Croc.
Go ahead and watch Chris Hero versus Drew Gulak from Evolve 70. That fucking match was really good live. Oh my god. Or Matt Roto versus AR Fox, also from the same show.
Vassar, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I'm gonna go with TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi versus Lince Dorado and Mustafa Ali and on NXT for the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
What should we call it? Let's see here. Yank.
No.
Yep.
You dick. What should we watch, Yankum? Huh? What should we watch with our eyes, Yankum? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself, you fucking fuck. You fucking baker fuck. Go make me a goddamn donut, you son of a bitch.
I'm not a baker anymore. I'm a beer guy.
Well, then get me a beer.
No. Why?
Fatal.
Come on, Jacob. What should we watch with your one good eye?
I'm not watching shit. I can't even open the good eye. It fucking hurts. I don't know.
Wrestling.
Oh, listen. That's a good idea. How about oh gosh, I can't remember their name. Alice Radley has a podcast still, and she was nice to us for a long time. So find her wrestling podcast and listen to it. I don't think she's doing it with Cornette anymore, because corny's corny, and nobody
Stuck
can
in the 70s.
deal with corny for very fucking long.
Yankum, can I just point out the abject failure you are as a person right now?
What?
Because when I said what to listen this week in wrestling, your immediate and only response should be Smark Snark, you dumbass.
Well, they're already listening to Smark Snark.
Oh, I know.
this
They go
week,
listen
you
to our back
dumbass.
episodes. They go listen to our back episodes, and you can plug the Patreon for the after show. See? Jesus Christ, Yanko, do I have to do everything myself, you blind motherfucker?
Well, gee, I'm not really thinking straight because I had a fucking dribble tool in my eye.
Yeah, you're not seeing straight either.
Not seeing straight. Fuck you. Fuck you guys. I hate you. You're all a bunch of bastards.
I'm
This
sorry.
is the best show. This is the
I
best.
cannot stop looking at this fucker's Nazi symbol on his chest.
Oh my god. Well, let's see here. We did Faster, we did Croc, we did Yankum. Oh my god, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I think you should watch from CMLL, Dark Angel Sahori and Estrella Magica versus Amapola, Seductora, and La Nazi.
La Nazi, there's a female?
Apparently.
Oh,
Why don't we make it extra international and we'll bring in Lay Nazi and we'll have a fucking triple threat intergender match.
make them all a fucking stable. Call them the SS.
Dog, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
God damn it.
With Der Nazi, so there's 4 of them.
No, that
All right.
would be the SSAs.
Der Nazi, Lay Nazi, La Nazi.
SSAs.
Lay-
Come on, man. That's the best.
Yes.
Fucking hate you guys,
All right.
especially you.
Because the historic triple main event has a historic women's Hell in a Cell match, I have 2 suggestions. First of all is probably the best women's hardcore match I've ever seen, which is Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell of all fucking people. I think it was Slammiversary
Jesus
2013. And it was
Wait,
it was a really good match.
Can you give me a second here? Because maybe my ears have been affected as well. Because I could have swore you just suggested a Gail Kim match.
Yes. Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell of all people. But it was a fucking
Okay.
great match. It was a really good last
Hey,
woman standing match.
hey
And then-
Gunner. Hey Gunner, what's your favorite match of all time?
Melina versus Alicia Fox.
Yes.
Any other suggestion
He's big.
is the all-time classic Kendall from Hell match, Al Snow versus the Big Boss Man.
I knew
Just
you were gonna say-
purely, so I don't have to hear anybody say that any match they saw this weekend is the worst match of all time. There's no fucking way there's going to be a match worse than that shit. Literal shit.
It was the drizzly shits. Yes. This week, I'm going to tell you to watch Kofi Kingston and CM Punk defeating Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes to become the World Tag Team Champions way back in 2008. Because today,
The SSAs.
oh Jesus Christ, no. But Kofi Kingston and CM Punk defeated Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes to become the tag titles, to become the tag champs. Excuse me.
To become the tag team titles.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
Kofi Kingston
that's
is the
impressive.
tag team. Dude, Kofi Kingston is the tag team titles at this point. If they don't name the tag team titles after Kofi Kingston, at this point, in his career, I mean, what has this guy done in his life, really?
Just replace the Spartan heads with Kofi Kingston.
Kofi faces.
Yeah.
Kofi faces with him smiling with his dreads, and
Yeah,
then
it's
have
perfect.
like the dreads be the thing on the top.
Yeah.
Speaking of the New Day, I got their Toys R Us had a 3-pack of them for Funko Pops, and they look great. Great. They got the unicorn horns. They got the gimmicks. It looks awesome. But all right, that's it. That's it for this week. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate it very much. This has been episode 231 of Smark Snark. You can check us out online, smarksnark.com, twitter.com, facebook.com, patreon.com, 812-408-9666, or 812-408. Woo! And thank y'all. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe this Halloween season. We will see you after that. And take care. Spike your hair.
Don't drink too much.
Woo, woo, woo.
You know it.
Hey, if there was a mini in that essays group, do you think it'd be concentrate?
God damn it!
I don't think that's funny. Good night, Kingston.
You're all a bunch of racists.
No.